Hey, welcome back for the final lesson for this module 3. In this lesson, we are going to talk about the compliance in Microsoft 365. So far, we have completed 4 lessons in under module 3. We started with organizational security fundamentals. Then later on, we talked about security features, which is part of Microsoft 365. We dived deep into Azure AD and just finished the device and data protection in Microsoft 365. In this lesson, we're going to talk about compliance in Microsoft 365. After this lesson, you should be able to describe the 3 pillars of compliance, explain the benefits of Compliance Manager tool, and describe the Microsoft Compliance Center as well. So let's look at the common compliance need in today's business environment. As the proliferation of data increases, and our reliance on storing and accessing that data online grows, so has the need of data management. Over the years, government and other agencies have become interested in how we use and share data, particularly personal data like financial and health data. To help protect individuals, government have introduced regulations about data storage, handling, and use. Some of these regulations include HIPAA, which is Health Insurance Probability and Accountability Act, imposes strict privacy regulations on protected health information. Then there is FISMA, or Federal Information Security Modernization Act, dictates how United States federal agencies protect information as well. And the most common now these days is GDPR, or General Data Protection Regulation, which addresses the protection of data and how and when it can be transferred. Service Trust Portal and the Compliance Manager. So let's look at some of the tools which Microsoft 365 provides to access your compliance risk and protect and govern information and respond to these regulatory requests or manage investigation. The Service Trust Portal, or STP, provides a variety of content, tools, and other resources about Microsoft security, privacy, and compliance practice. It also includes independent third-party audit reports for Microsoft online services and information about how our online services can help your organization maintain and track compliance with standards, laws, and regulations such as ISO, SEO, NIST, GDPR, Office 365 auditing, etc. The Service Trust Portal includes the following compliance tools. It includes the Compliance Manager, your dashboard to standard regulations and assessment. It includes trust documents, which include audit reports, data protection information about how Microsoft operate Azure, Dynamics 365, and Office 365, Azure Security and Compliance Blueprint as well. Regionally specific compliance information, often in the form of legal opinions, and describe Microsoft cloud services in different countries like Australia, Poland, or in the UK, for example. And privacy information about the capabilities in Microsoft services that you can use to address specific GDPR requirement as well as GDPR documentation. You can learn more about by going into the Service Trust Portal, http://aka.ms/stp. And what is Compliance Manager? A Compliance Manager is a cross-Microsoft solution that helps meet complex compliance obligations, including GDPR, ISO 27001, 27018, 853 NIST, HIPAA, etc. The Compliance Manager can be managed by assigned individuals and provides these 3 key capabilities. So, ongoing risk assessment. You would be able to view a summary of your compliance posture against the data protection regulatory requirements that are relevant to your organization in the context of using Microsoft Cloud Services. Second, actionable insight. Understand the responsibility that you and Microsoft share in meeting compliance standard. For components that Microsoft manages, you can see the control implementation and testing details, test date, and results. And finally, simplified compliance. With simplified process to achieve compliance, it provides built-in collaboration tools that you can use to assign tasks to your team. You can also generate audit-ready reports which links to the evidence they are collected. Let's look at data governance in Microsoft 365. Data governance is all about keeping your data around when you need it and getting rid of it when you don't. With data governance in Microsoft 365, you can manage the full content lifecycle from importing and storing data at the beginning to create policies that retain and then permanently delete content at the end. Microsoft 365 takes a unified approach to discovering, classifying, labeling your content across locations. With these retention labels, you will be able to enable people in your organization to apply a retention label manually. So you can do this to the content in Outlook on the web or Outlook 2010 and later, OneDrive, SharePoint, and Office 365 groups. You can apply retention labels to content automatically if it matches specific conditions such as when the content creates or when the content contains a specific type of sensitivity information, a specific keyword that match a query you create, etc. Apply a default retention label to the document library in SharePoint and Office 365 group site so that all documents in the library get the default retention label. Finally, you will be able to implement data record management across Office 365, including both emails and documents. You can use retention label to classify content as a record. When this happens, the label can't be changed or removed, and the content can't be edited or deleted as well. Let's look at encryption in Microsoft 365. Microsoft 365 uses some of the strongest encryption protocols available. Data is encrypted by default, at rest, and in transit. For data at rest, data is encrypted at the physical disk with BitLocker, in applications with service encryption. Data in transcription with TLS, which is transport layer security, as it moves across the network. For additional controls, you can encrypt your data in transit and more granularly at the content level as well with Office 365 message encryption and Azure Information Protection. Organizations are twice as likely to get breached through compromised credentials than through any other threat vector. So what is customer logbox for Microsoft 365? Microsoft runs organization and data centers on the principle of zero standing admin access. When required, all access requests go through a privileged access workflow, allowing users just in time and just enough access for a specific task they need to perform. These requests require approvals and significant oversight. Another tool Microsoft offers to control access is Customer Logbox. Customer Logbox requires the tenant admin or the custom role like compliance manager to approve a request before access to your data center. A customer logbox requires the tenant admin to approve a request before accessing to your data center is granted to Microsoft engineers. The transparency control and security rigor provided through the customer logbox workflow is above and beyond what other major SaaS vendors offer today. Together, these controls enable you and the Microsoft engineers to enforce zero standing access by default for service provider access, which is a significant leap in keeping our data center and your data secure and compliant. So how do you respond to the data discovery request? You can use advanced e-discovery to review and redact content prior to export to ensure that only the most relevant data is being shared and that any business confidential pieces of the data are redacted. You can work with data stored in Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, OneDrive for Business, Skype for Business, Office 365 groups, and Microsoft Teams as well. The new Microsoft 365 Compliance Center is a specialized workplace for your compliance, privacy, and risk management professionals. You can use the Compliance Center to access your compliance risk through Compliance Manager, protect and govern your data with sensitivity and retention labels, respond to the regulatory requests like data subject request or DSR, and access other compliance and privacy solutions as well. The new experience helps you reduce compliance risk and protect your data estate more easily than effectively with these new insights. With that, we completed lesson 5 of this module, which was compliance in Microsoft 365. That concludes module 3 as well. So thank you so much for your patience, and I hope the information provided was useful. In the next video, we're going to go through the review of the last module, and we're going to go through some question answers to test your knowledge as well. So I will see you on the next video. Till then, take care.